story that got us to thinking. Now, let me start with the Lions here as we try and work within the confines of reality. Brad Holmes is a general manager. He cut his teeth with the Rams. The Rams are an organization that have crushed it in the draft. They've actually traded a ton of first-round picks, but they've always managed to recoup mid to late-round picks. And they've had a good number of picks in spite of not picking in the first round. And obviously the Rams sent the Lions their first-round pick in this most recent draft and the next draft. And the Rams are going to go the better part of a decade without a first-round pick. Their last first-round pick was Jared Goff in 2015, 2016, whatever that was. And they don't have a first-round pick, and they haven't had one since. And they don't have a first-round pick on the books until the 2024 draft. So think about that. And this is the organization that Brad Holmes came from, that they would trade they would trade draft capital for players, established and good players. And the Lions have the Rams pick next year, so they have 2 first-round picks. And do the Lions have cap space, Gator?
Yes, they have cap space. It's actually published they have cap space, and, of course, every team has cap space.
Yes. Although they'll come with consequences. I mean, Cooper Kupp just got a contract, and the Rams had to release some people. But
yeah, this after they gave a contract extension to Aaron Donald. This after they gave a contract extension to Matthew Stafford.
It comes
somehow
with a cost.
It works.
You cut people. I mean, that's kind of what in the wake of those moves. But anyway, yes, they do have cap space. In Baltimore, the Ravens and Lamar Jackson appear to be an impasse over a contract extension, and it's been reported in a variety of ways that it's possible that just Lamar hasn't come to the table with them. He's 4 years in. He's the last year of his rookie contract. Almost nobody doesn't have an extension by now, given his circumstances. So what the hell's going on out there?
Well, it could be as simple as they're around him every day and they see what they see. And if you just look at numbers on what you see in the last 3 years, because those are the 3 years he started the majority of his games. I mean, he started 7 games his rookie season, and they went 6-1 in those games. But the next year, they went 13-2. He threw for 36 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions, ran for over 1,000 yards, and threw for over 3,100 yards. That's an outstanding year, right? MVP season.
Yep.
The next year, they went 11-4. He threw for 2,700 yards, so less. 26 touchdowns, less. 9 interceptions, more. And he still ran pretty well. He ran for just over 1,000 yards, but was less than he did before. The previous season, he ran for 6.9 per carry. This was down to 6.3. Still outstanding. Then came last season. He only played 12 games. They went 7-5 in those 12 games. He threw for 2,800 yards, more than he had the previous year, but he only threw 16 touchdowns. He also threw 13 interceptions, career high to that point. And his rushing yards were down to 767. His yards per carry under 6 at 5.8. All still good numbers. I mean, the interception's not a good number, and the touchdowns was considerably down. But each year it has gone down. So if you see he's not progressing, but he's regressing, and you can find reasons why. You know, he hasn't had the same offense around him. They've had a banged-up line. Lots of reasons. The running back rotation has just been crazy. How different
dropping
it is.
passes.
Yes, exactly. Hollywood Brown doesn't seem to know how to hang on to a football. These are things you can right away. I'm still very intrigued by Lamar Jackson as a quarterback in this league, and yeah, he's a dual threat guy, but he can still sling the ball around. But these are reasons why Baltimore might, do you decide to, you know what, he's not really in our future plans. We've seen other quarterbacks that can run this offense, and maybe we want somebody else. We can get something for him. Are they thinking along those lines?
Well, a couple things. Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, was talking with Rich Eisen, and he said of Lamar Jackson, quote, if the Ravens don't get this deal done with him, and he's made it clear that he doesn't want to negotiate this season, there's going to be a window of opportunity for them to finally do this after the season, assuming he engages. There's going to be a point where I think the Ravens get exasperated. I think at some point the Ravens are going to throw their hands in the air and say, we've got to move on. If this guy's not going to take our money, we just have to move on. He then later went on to predict that he thought it was more likely that Lamar Jackson would be the quarterback in Miami next year than Tua Tagovailoa.
Wow.
Lamar is 37-12 as a starter. They like Tyler Huntley. Remember him coming in last year?
Yeah.
You like Tyler Huntley.
Well, you look good.
And the Lions have these extra. Would you give up the 2 first-rounders next year? And, I mean, it might cost you the first rounder the following year as the basis for a trade and maybe get some late-round draft capital back, but a basis of a trade to add Lamar Jackson. They've got the cap space. You'd have to sign him in a $200+ million deal. You have to make that kind of commitment to him. But is this something that you would do? Lamar Jackson, let's just go ahead and put the price tag as 3 first-rounders, the 2 next year and the 1 the following year. And you kind of feel like between the offensive line, the tight end, the wide receivers, the quarterback, and the running backs, that has the potential to be dynamic. And then it's investing all the rest of your resources into building a defense, right? Depth on offense and a defense.
Yeah. I mean, it's tempting. I'm certainly thinking about it. I like Lamar Jackson. I don't know if I love Lamar Jackson. I like Lamar Jackson. And I like that he can extend plays. Maybe as well or better than anybody else in the league. But I am concerned that his turnovers have gone up each of the last couple of years. You know, going from 6 picks to 9 picks to last year to 13 picks. That's a bit of a concern. I think his yards per attempt has that's gone down as well from 8.9 to 7.6 down to 6.9. I mean, these are numbers that are concerning.
Kang, would you do it?
Absolutely. I think in the end, I think the Ravens are going to give him a huge deal. This is all about nothing. It's too hard to find a good quarterback in this league. They're not going to let him go. And if Florio is correct and it gets to a point where, hey, this guy doesn't want our money, we've got to get something for him, which I hope it does if it favors the Lions, then I jump all over it.